Hello everyone, this is Collects Fallen Stars, and this video is a response to a lot of online criticism regarding the K-drama The King Eternal Monarch. I absolutely fell in love with it at a point when I was getting a little bit tired of K-dramas, and I think it's such a waste if people don't give it a chance, so that's why I will be doing these series of videos. Keep in mind, obviously, that I will have spoilers for episodes 1 to 8. Now, I am responding to a specific point that critics have raised, and it is this that the drama has a slow pace, while the romance between the leads have happened at an extremely fast pace. That, or there's no development whatsoever. In the K drama world, yes, it was fast, but in my humble opinion, just because it was fast doesn't mean it was underdeveloped. I think it had to be that way because of the kind of characters they were created to be. And I'm going to try and prove this by tracing the development of Jung Tae-eul's feelings from the first episode to the eighth when she finally told him that she loved him. I'm leaving Lee Gon out because his emotional journey is different from hers, and he comes into the series with his feelings almost fully developed anyway. The one that needs to catch up is Jeong Tae-eul, so I will follow her. Now, let's take a look at these two characters. Lee Gon is a mathematician and well versed in scientific matters. He is a man of logic, relentless in the pursuit of a final answer to any equation. He comes into the series already half in love with Jung Tae-eul. Upon seeing that she exists, he pursues her. His character's conflict now is how to convince Jung Tae-eul that what he feels for her is real. But before he even gets there, he first has to prove that his identity as a king of Korea is also real. Aside from this, he also has his own emotional journey to take on, but that's another discussion. This one is about Jung Tae-eul because it might seem baffling that she spent 6 episodes seemingly annoyed and exasperated with Lee Gon's crazy declarations of him being king and her utmost importance in his life. And then suddenly, she comes running into his arms by the 7th episode and then confessing to him by the 8th. It's not that baffling if you take a closer look at her character. Jung Tae-eul is a taekwondo master, detective, not very good in school, especially math and science, but well versed in chicken and beer. What with her being a detective, one would think that she would be as logical as Lee Gon. She is, but she and Lee Gon do not have the same kind of logic. Lee Gon can grasp non material knowledge like theorems and possibilities of other worlds from a theoretical point of view and only cancel them out when they're proven incorrect, like a mathematical equation. It's also why, between the two of them, he's the more romantic one because what is romance but an idea? But Jung Tae-eul's logic is that of a flat earther. I'm not sure if that brand carries the same stigma in South Korea as it does in the West, but I'm sure that the writer Kim Un-suk did not mean to make her look like a nutter by branding her a flat earther. It just means that she's one of those people who need to see something first before they believe it. It's also why she speaks so bluntly. She says what she needs to say as honestly as possible because she demands the kind of transparency in order for her to believe someone else. She was also never really good in school, particularly in math. Okay, in science too. And even Kang Shinjae knows it, as shown by his tired expression during the time that they went on a stakeout and he presented her with a mathematical problem. This means abstract concepts like square roots, quantum mechanics, parallel worlds fly over her head. She relies on physicality to navigate the world. That's why Taekwondo, a contact sport, gives her. She perceives the world through her senses. Eating fried chicken and drinking beer satisfy her body. Her sense of taste and smell, so she likes doing it, those are real for her. If she cannot hold them, see them, smell them, touch them, taste them, and hear them, they do not exist. Now, how does this play into their first encounter? So after he tells her that he's the king of Korea and he's in a parallel world, she gives him this. So she tells him, if you knew I wouldn't believe you, why would you say such bullshit? And she proceeds to ask him to show her his ID. And his response, I'm afraid I can't. I don't have an ID because I am who I am. This kind of response drove her up the wall. If she can't believe that he is the unnameable king of Korea, how else is she going to believe that she is as important to him as he says she is? Now, in episode 2, she gets his money, fingerprints, and DNA tested, methods she knows will work, and trust to do so. However, in episodes 3 to 4, the fingerprints and DNA turn up with nothing, meaning Lee Gon cannot be found in her world. Now, by the fourth episode, forensics proved that this money from Lee Gon is actually genuine. But her first clue, really, that Lee Gon might actually be telling the truth was his diamond button. A legitimate jeweler accepted it in exchange for cash in the second episode. But it wasn't really until the fourth episode that pieces of the evidence began to stack up to support Lee Gon's claims. When he left to go home and Jung Tae-eul saw that Maximus, his white horse, was gone from her yard, she actually searched for Lee Gon's movements through CCTV footage. She found him disappearing into the bamboo forest, and that was it. Now, although she couldn't confirm that he had an actual home, the fact that he had disappeared into somewhere told her that he must have one. It was also in the fourth episode when she lost her ID card, and it was reissued to her on the date exactly as Lee Gon told her it would be, November 11, 2019, Leonardo DiCaprio's birthday. This shakes her to the core because her flat world just wavered. And when Lee Gon reappears at the end of the episode 4, and she tests him about her ID picture and asked him if her hair was up or down and what she was wearing, and he answers correctly. And seeing that he was finally getting through to her, he asks the very thing a flat earther, taekwondo master, detective would want to hear. Do you want to see for yourself? You can come with me now if you want. Come with me to my world. No, she says yes. And when she crosses over that barrier, all the flat earthing walls she put up to protect herself came crashing down. And when she lands in the kingdom of Korea to the tune of his guards calling him Your Highness, she finally gets the two things that she had asked of him back in episode 2. He does have a home, he does have a name, he is a king. So he tells her, I am the king of the kingdom of Korea, and my name, which I asked you not to call, is Lee Gon. This means that everything he ever said was true, including the way that he feels for her or how important she is to him. Now, I know what you're going to say. She can't have fallen in love with him in one day just because he's got a palace and a name. And I'm like, girl, people have fallen in love with other people for less than that. But episode 5 may have been very significant when it came to a shift in her feelings, but things have always been brewing beneath the surface since their first meeting. She just put a lid on it because she couldn't properly identify him and what he was. Now that she has no excuse anymore, standing on his kingdom and even calling his name out loud, she is now forced to confront this strange pull that this man has on her. It took her 8 episodes to explore this gravitational pull that she has with Lee Gon, and it's developed in an uneven pace. Episodes 1 to 4 are slow, but they have a huge amount of screen time. By the fifth episode, their interactions become fast and heavy, meaning more substantial, but they begin to share less screen time together too, making all their moments even more bittersweet up until the 8th episode when Jung Tae-eul properly tells him that she loves him. I will be discussing exactly how she explored all of this in the next few videos. So if you're still interested to hear the rest, just go to part 2. Thank you.